mwili na hata uondoa joto jingi mwilini. Kaluma Strong ina aspirin kama kiungo. Maumivu yakizidi, muone daktari.
Breastfeed your baby exclusively for the first 6 months of life. It helps them grow healthy and strong and protects them from infections and illnesses. Mothers with suspected or confirmed COVID-19 should be encouraged to initiate or continue to breastfeed while adhering to COVID-19 infection prevention and control measures to avert contact transmission of the virus to their infants and young children. Breast milk remains the best food and improves the baby's immunity. Breastfeeding is a foundation for a child's future health. Mothers who breastfeed reduce their risk of developing breast and ovarian cancers.
DEVKI steel mills have provided quality building material with the widest range of associated steel products over the last 3 decades. Look for the DEVKI mark on a widest selling reinforcement, twisted and TMT rebars, which are KBS certified and have the diamond mark of quality. DEVKI Steel, Kenya's most trusted steel company.
Moi University would like to inform all first years that online registration and orientation for the first year's 2020 and 2021 class is ongoing. Visit www.firstyears.mu.ac.ke to register. Online classes will begin on Monday 21st September 2020. Qualified candidates are also informed that online application for the September 2020 and January 2021 intakes in our various degree, postgraduate and diploma programs is ongoing. Apply now. Visit our website www.mu.ac.ke and click on the admissions link to select your desired course and follow the guidelines to complete application. For more inquiries, contact us on 0790-940508 or admissions@mu.ac.ke. Moi University, the foundation of knowledge.
The super efficient Jiko Koa requires half the charcoal of other Jikos, so you use less fuel and receive immediate savings. Enjoy our special offer now and save 1,000 Kenya shillings with every purchase. Jiko Koa, Kenya's #1 saving Jiko.
This is NTV.
It's a couple of minutes to the top of the hour, but you're just in time for NTV Tonight. This is what we have in store. Tonight, the roadblock on Revenue Avenue has been removed.
I vote yes. Napiga ndio. I therefore vote great yes.
The ayes have it.
12 senators saved House from being 11 times a failure. Plus, some counties defy Oparanya order to shut down operations. Wananchi are the worst hit in the Waheshimiwa battles.
One midwife is having about 26 patients, which is absolutely ridiculous.
Kwangu ni painful kwa sababu pia hata mtoto acheze. Anafika mahali amechoka. So nimevumilia venye tu kutakuwa ikue.
Also tonight,
the relevant agencies should expedite their ongoing investigations and conclude the same within 21 days.
And 21 days are over. Investigating agencies should be done with investigating the cancer at KEMSA. We are still on the COVID-19 millionaires trail. And
how has your foundation sought to ensure that the funds it contributes to its partners, how do you try and ensure that the funds you contribute are actually going to what it was intended for?
So we're pretty careful with the health money, including partners like Global Fund and Gavi.
Gates Foundation co-founder Bill Gates speaks exclusively to NTV on COVID-19 vaccines and more.
NTV Tonight with Mark Masai.
Own Flora Tieno is my co-presenter in sign language. Thank you for joining us tonight. To our top story, in Senate has unanimously passed a new county revenue sharing formula that will see none of the counties losing revenue while sharing the 316 billion shillings to the county governments. The House has also passed the county revenue allocation bill that will now give Treasury the green light to disburse the monies. Vincent Dor starts us off.
After 10 failed attempts at reaching a consensus on which formula to use while sharing the 316 billion shillings to counties, this Thursday, all the 41 senators present unanimously supported the third basis for revenue sharing brokered by the 12-member mediation committee.
Abstentions 0, nays 0, ayes 41. The ayes have it.
That the protracted process that we took has been able to bring on the table of our counties an additional 53.5 billion. So it has not been in vain, Mr. Speaker. It has borne fruit.
According to the new formula, no county government will be allocated revenue less than what it got in last financial year budget. This means that on the new formula, no county is losing revenue, unlike the previous controversial government-backed formula that would have seen 19 counties losing revenue, while 28 others gaining. An added benefit in the new agreement is that the equitable shareable revenue will stand at 370 billion shillings from the next several financial years up to 2025.
Equitable share for 2020-2021, the county allocation will be equal to the allocation ratio, which is 2019-2020, plus 0 by the formula, meaning each county shall get exactly what they got. The formula of 18% population index, 17% health index, 10% agriculture index, 5% urban index, 14% poverty index, 8% land area index.
And with the passage of the county revenue allocation bill, now Treasury can proceed to disburse the monies.
As a leader, when you do something, never be afraid to be misunderstood. If your conscience is clear and you're doing the right thing, do it, they will understand later. I hope those who put those billboards now will put one saying, thank you for the 3.3 billion.
The governors were sitting with the president last year, and this year they have been sitting with the president this year. They didn't get a single cent on top of what was allocated by the Treasury. Shame unto these governors. Shame unto these governors.
This latest move will now enable counties to resume full operations a day after the Council of Governors directed all governors to shut down non-essential services due to a crash crisis in the counties. Senators Johnson Sakaja, Kipchumba Murkomen, Mithika Linturi, Cleophas Malala and Mutula Kilonzo Jr. have been some of the fiercest opponents to the initial government-backed formula, to the point of putting the House leadership and the national government at the receiving end. Vincent Odur, NTV.
It has been described by some as a win-win solution, and there was a bit of credit taking right outside Senate by the leaders right after this session. This is what played out.
For the first time in the Kenyan history, Senate has been able to push
the executive and add more monies to the counties. Kenyans are going to benefit in terms of more roads by the counties are going to be made, more hospitals are going to be built by the counties, more pre-primary schools are going to be built by the counties after you are able to lobby and have central government, national government, agree to send more money to the county.
Thirdly, I want to thank everybody, including Senate and the executive, for ensuring that they gave us additional 53 billion. Now we have a baseline of 370 billion. And therefore, counties, no county will lose. We are now gaining, and I think everybody is gaining. And that was the principle of 1 man, 1 vote, 1 shilling. The principle of 1 man, 1 vote, 1 shilling was to ensure we include this every county into a country called one nation, one people, and one Kenya. And also recognizing our diversity, and that is why we promoted the issue of equity, equality, and now every county is in a position to celebrate for all this.
And as young leaders, this is the message that we want to give to this Republic of Kenya, that we shall not accept to have a country which is divided on the lines of marginalized communities and those communities which are rich. We are going to ensure as young leaders, we're going to put this country together and move to prosperity together.
We are not going to allow a divided Senate. We are not going to allow a divided country. We are going to do everything possible to keep our country together.
So will this breakthrough with the revenue sharing formula lead to the Council of Governors withdrawing their call to suspend non-essential services by counties? Because following the directive by the COG, some of the counties have complied while others are reported to have boycotted the order. NTV's Kevin Mutai reports on how the directive by the Council of Governors was received.
Most of the health facilities across the country continued their normal operations in hospitals, despite the Council of Governors calling on counties to suspend all non-essential services, as well as limiting inpatient and outpatient operations. Mombasa County, having developed a legislative framework to use local revenue to support the health sector, was able to defy this order. In Mandera and Bungoma counties, health workers offered services as usual.
We in Mandera will not be able to comply, hence our operations will continue until such a time the situation dictates by itself total shutdown.
We have still had patients who required admissions. They have been admitted. Our ward rounds have gone on as usual. Our outpatients have been seen as usual.
Yeye ana mamlaka gani ya kufunga hospitali ama huduma yani yeye ndiye serikali. Yeye ndiye mkuu wa serikali. Hii serikali yetu sisi lazima county iendelee.
In Kisumu, Governor Anyang' Nyong'o asked all county staff to take leave with immediate effect, only allowing those in specific departments in the health sector and in revenue collection to continue discharging their duties. In Kakamega, all employees had been sent on a 2-week leave. Machakos Governor Alfred Mutua had threatened to shut down services based on lack of resources to pay staff. Nakuru County had issued a statement calling for an emergency meeting on Friday to discuss the steps the county would take if the senators failed to reach a consensus.
From today, the county government of Meru is shutting down all its operations as guided by the county secretary.
As Council of Governors, it is not that we derive any pleasure whatsoever in suspending or scaling down any service, but we are being pushed by the circumstances of the day.
The County Assembly Forum is urging the governors to reconsider their position.
Counties, in consultation with the Controller Budget and the National Treasury, be allowed to utilize local revenue at source to ensure that the delivery of essential services, particularly in the health sector, continues uninterrupted.
We don't shut down our hospitals, we don't shut down. And it's not a simple matter. The shouting match between governors and senators is unnecessary.
Much as the directive by the Council of Governors to suspend certain services at the counties has drawn ire, it may have been the resolve needed to push the Senate to unlock the revenue sharing stalemate. Kevin Mutai, NTV, Mombasa.
More often than not, the pressure that comes with labor can be unbearable. The urgency needed in getting medical attention to the expectant woman should not be underestimated. But many women have found themselves in such conditions owing to the healthcare workers' strike in some hospitals. Kenya's largest referral hospital is overwhelmed with patients who could not get attended to at other hospitals. The labor wards at the Kenyatta National Hospital are pregnant with fear and fatigue. From the expectant mothers to the overwhelmed staff who are heroes in their own right, Charity Mwangi takes us into the worrisome wards.
Childbirth ideally is a short period of pain that culminates to the joy of a child. But when things are not ideal, such as when healthcare workers are on strike, not only is the pain prolonged, but even the smell of death is imminent. This is Kenyatta National Hospital, the largest such facility in the country. It has been receiving more patients in its labor wards, more than they can handle.
At present, one midwife is having about 26 patients, which is absolutely ridiculous.
Now they are congested and more patients are still waiting for beds with their luggage in tow. The referral hospital has had to relax its rules and accommodate patients without referrals from other hospitals.
For the last 2-3 months, you go, there's a county strike, they go back 2 days, county strike again, go back 2 days.
Nimeanzia Pumwani asubuhi. Kufika hapo wakaniambia hakuna services na nilikuwa naumwa sana. Nikachukua tu Uber nikakuja Kenyatta.
Janet is overjoyed by the arrival of her son Leo. She tells us that though her journey was tough, it cannot be compared to those of the other women here still waiting to hold their babies.
Theater kumejaa tu ukiangalia huko hao wanagojea kwenda theater. So mimi nimewapata, sijui walikuja lini.
Wairimo is waiting for the theatre to clear up. She fears for her unborn baby.
Nilikuwa nizae date Thursday, the 10, but mimi ni wa 3 previous scan na bado mpaka sasa sijahudhuriwa, sijaangalia chochote kulingana na venye kumejaa.
This will be her 4th cesarean section, and the doctor tells us that according to their last check, there are 17 pending C-sections.
So you find if somebody has been ordered a cesarean section, and because of the numbers pending, they're not able to be done in an immediate number. If this was, say, a fetal distress, we unfortunately can even lose the baby because of something like that. Kwangu ni painful kwa sababu pia hata mtoto acheze. Anafika mahali amechoka na sina option nyingine. Kama ni private mimi siwezenda because I don't have money. Sina. So nimevumilia venye tu utakuwa ikue.
The situation is aggravated by other gynecological services that are being served in the same wards as the main labor ward is under renovation. The heroes of the day are the midwives and the nursing staff who are forced to work longer hours than they should.
It has not been easy for the staff and even for our mothers who would expect better care than we are providing.
Unless I'm comfortable that the night is going to be okay, I just can't go and sleep.
The situation may not be ideal, but these healthcare workers are doing the very best they can. They hope the situation may be resolved sooner rather than later. Charity Mwangi, NTV.
Just the fate of some of the patients in the country. Meanwhile, healthcare workers who have not received their salaries have been instructed to down their tools until their pay is remitted. This is the guidance given by various healthcare workers' unions and a day after Council Governors Chairman Wycliffe Oparanya issued a notice to all counties on the shutdown of various services. Helen Aura reports that the unions have pointed an accusing finger at the government and the political leaders for failing to meet their end of the deal.
As the ripple effects of the revenue stalemate continue to bite, the Thursday evening breakthrough at the Senate may not have immediately freed Kenyans from the sting. Healthcare workers have been instructed not to report to duty until they receive their salaries.
And the Council of Governors should come out clean. They are playing politics with us. That is the reality. They are playing politics with Kenyans' lives. So there is money for projects. There is money where people can get kickbacks, but when it comes to paying salaries, then there is no money.
The Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union, KMPDU, alongside unions representing nurses, clinical officers and county government workers, further want the creation of the County Government Workers Commission to manage human resources for healthcare workers. The current troubles have been attributed to the various cadres of leaders.
Hapana cheza na Wakenya, the Senate, you have let down Kenyans. The national government has let down Kenyans. Because it is the responsibility of government officers to ensure that the government runs smoothly.
The employer is on strike. The workers are on strike. How does this get reconciled? Can anybody help? This is a very bizarre situation.
The Council of Governors directed that there should be no inpatient services and limited outpatient services. Patients at various hospitals have been sent back despite not recovered or even attended to.
We cannot allow reduction of funds for any county. That is the highest irresponsible action from the president and the national government. The president cannot, as a father of this country, sit down and allow reduction of money from some counties.
Helen Aura, NTV.
Taxpayers will have to wait a bit longer to know the outcome of the preliminary investigation report on the Kenya Medical Supplies Agency procurement scandal. This is despite the expiry of a 21-day window ordered by President Uhuru Kenyatta for investigative agencies to conclude their probe. NTV's Seth Olale explains what could be causing the delay.
It is more than 3 months now since the Office of the Auditor General brought in independent auditors to scrutinize the Kenya Medical Supplies Agency procurement process after Health Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe raised the red flag during one of the COVID-19 daily briefings at the doorstep of Afya House. The preliminary findings of the audit report to date remains a mystery, with the new Auditor General tight-lipped over the KEMSA irregular COVID-19 tendering process. A month after the Office of the Auditor General camped at KEMSA headquarters, the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission commenced investigations into the 7.6 billion shillings KEMSA heist. To date, no one has been arrested or prosecuted. There has clearly been a lot of drama, but not as much nerve in terms of tangible action. Exactly 3 weeks ago, the head of state ordered investigative agencies to conclude investigations into the KEMSA procurement scandal. However, sources privy to the investigation say the EACC is an independent body and is not obligated to follow executive orders from the head of state, meaning that the commission is not bound by the 21 days presidential directive which lapsed on Wednesday, 16th September.
Given the compelling public interest on the matter, the relevant agencies should expedite their ongoing investigations and conclude the same within 21 days from the date hereof.
The Directorate of Criminal Investigations, which is a state agency under Interior Ministry, on the other hand, states that it is not part of the KEMSA investigations spearheaded by EACC. With the lull over the KEMSA procurement investigations, there has been a proposal that the DPP should be given powers to directly order arrest and prosecution from the findings of the Auditor General's report without it necessarily being adopted by Parliament. The Joint Senate Committee on Health and COVID-19 Ad Hoc Committee, together with the National Assembly Health Committee, have been conducting separate investigations into the KEMSA heist. Apart from investigative agencies, the Ministry of Health was also directed by the head of state to conduct parallel investigations into the alleged irregular KEMSA scandal that gave birth to the so-called COVID millionaires. Seth Olale, NTV, Nairobi.
Given this KEMSA scandal on the procurement of equipment to fight COVID-19, what does Bill Gates, the co-founder of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, have to say about his confidence in giving to countries such as Kenya? Find out after the break. Stay with us.
Mimi ni fundi, naelewa chuma yangu fundi gani. Wini tulijuana 2010. Kila kazi akinipatia anajua anatumia chuma ya standard na doshi.
Chris ni fundi mzuri. Tunamuulizanga hii chuma una shida ukisema doshi. Ni chuma aina gani? Na ndio hiyo akakuja kunitengenezea mlango naye akaniambia, "Wini kuja uone. Hii ndio chuma ya doshi." Kila mtu anapenda kitu smart. Kitengenezewa mlango na chuma strong, utakuwa ukilala usigisi nono. Security iko sawa na akili itulie.
Jijenge na Doshi Steel. Chuma ya nguvu.
When the world changed, it made us go back to the simple joys and love the little things even more. Like serving up your best, eating together and sharing more. Now, we'll take nothing for granted. And always remember to taste the simple joys. Coca-Cola. Taste the simple joys.
Fresh Fry Premium Cooking Oil now has a new look and an advanced spout and seal. Triple refined, zero cholesterol and natural vitamin E. Fresh Fry, always heart friendly. Now it's even more cooking friendly. Fresh Fry, the premium cooking oil for healthy living.
Sona moja imetengenezwa kwa njia spesheli ili kupambana na maumivu kwa haraka. Sona moja ina aspirin kama kiungo. Sona moja, kitulizo kamili. Maumivu yakizidi, pata ushauri wa daktari.
Mavuno Fertilizers, a soil and crop specific fertilizer in Kenya, helps improve food security by improving crop yields through application of scientifically researched nutrition-based fertilizers. More than 500,000 farmers in Kenya can have easy access at affordable packs of 1 kg to 50 kg across major agro-dealers. Farmers who have used Mavuno Fertilizers have realized 30% more yield. Please feed your crop and soil with the best fertilizers for future prosperity. Call us today and learn how Mavuno Fertilizers is helping in increasing food production in Africa.
DEVKI steel mills have provided quality building material with the widest range of associated steel products over the last 3 decades. Look for the DEVKI mark on a widest selling reinforcement, twisted and TMT rebars, which are KBS certified and have the diamond mark of quality. DEVKI Steel, Kenya's most trusted steel company.
Do your gums hurt? Yeah. Does your toothpaste contain sage, eucalyptus, myrrh, chamomile? All that in one toothpaste? Yes, try Colgate Herbal. Colgate Herbal contains nature's best herbs and Colgate's fluoride technology to give you strong teeth and healthy gums. Ah, Colgate Herbal. Let's go. Colgate Herbal for strong teeth and healthy gums naturally.
I'm experienced now, professional. I done wrestled with an alligator. I done tussled with a whale. I done handcuffed lightning, throw thunder in jail. This is the game that is going to be remembered as the Lionel Messi match. Last week, I murdered a rock. Brilliant Kipchoge. Injured a stone. Hospitalized a brick. I'm so mean, I make medicine sick. Last night I cut the light off in my bedroom, hit the switch, was in the bed before the room was dark. Bad. Been chopping trees, I done something new for this fight. I'm gonna show you how great I am.
Fresh Fry Premium Cooking Oil now has a new look and an advanced spout and seal. triple refined, zero cholesterol, and natural vitamin E. Fresh Fry, always heart-friendly. Now it's even more cooking-friendly. Fresh Fry, the premium cooking oil for healthy living.
The Agriculture CS, Peter Munya, has defended the move, saying that either way, the military has been the Kenya Meat Commission's biggest customer, confirming the claims by haters that kutoka kitambo, ng'ombe zimekuwa zikiingia jeshi kwa wingi. Shiro alisema, she tweeted something about a lady carrying a pan kwa handbag to go cook chapos for the boyfriend.
When you show yourself or you show this dude that you're willing to do anything for him, imagine hakuna heshima hapo. Guys like having to work. The thrill of the chase. Do you have a pan?
I do.
Because that is maybe someone is that.
No, I do.
Unaongea stories za pan alafu wewe huna.
No pun intended.
Welcome to Garden of Joy in Machakos by Optiven. This is a gated community that is strategically located only 7 minutes drive from Komata. The title deeds are ready. Call us today on 0790 300 300.
NTV Tonight continues with today's update of the COVID-19 situation in the country. And 183 people have tested positive for the virus out of a sample size of 4,188. This raises the country's caseload to over 36,500. 82 people have recovered, and the total number of recoveries stands at over 23,600. 5 people have succumbed to the virus, increasing the death toll to 642. Our condolences to the families of those who have lost their loved ones. In terms of the county distribution, those with the highest new infections are Nairobi with 54, Kisumu 26, Mombasa 20, Trans Nzoia 16, and Kericho 11. When the world's second richest man, Bill Gates, stood on a podium 5 years ago and spoke of the greatest threat to humanity, he may as well have boarded a time machine and witnessed the ravage wrought by the COVID pandemic firsthand. His wasn't a prophetic word. The writing was on the wall. Before Olive Burrows draws on Bill Gates Foundation's experience with vaccines, she sets the stage with this report.
The Gates Foundation's annual Goalkeepers Report capturing the cost not just in the numbers infected. The report shows that as the world seeks to move at warp speed to manufacture a vaccine for the COVID-19 pandemic, vaccine coverage has been set back 25 years in 25 weeks globally as the health systems grapple with the pandemic at hand. The report also shows that 37 million people have been reduced to living on less than 206 shillings a day. With the vaccine offering a way out of the weeds, the researchers are under immense pressure. The Gates Foundation's annual Goalkeepers Report, which tracks progress towards the Sustainable Development Goals, makes an economic case for an equitable distribution of the vaccine.
On the global scale, the search for COVID-19 vaccine is proving to be a politically charged matter. The contention ranging from how soon we can expect a vaccine to how it should be distributed. Olive Burrows engages philanthropist Bill Gates on the scramble for a COVID-19 vaccine and whether he trusts that the funds his foundation directs to Kenya are used to support the health systems and not to line the pockets of COVID millionaires.
Petitioned the technology gods in the hopes that we don't lose the connection. We'll be discussing the Goalkeepers Report for 2020, of course, which has a lot to say on the COVID-19 pandemic and how that has impacted our road to the Sustainable Development Goals. Bill, I'll start with this question. This year, you gave up your seat on the Microsoft board in order to dedicate more of your time to philanthropy and the work that the foundation carries out. Why is this work so important to you?
Well, Melinda and I decided back in the year 2000 that the wealth I was lucky enough to have from Microsoft, and then later our friend Warren Buffett put a lot of the wealth that he got from Berkshire Hathaway into a foundation whose primary focus would be global health, viewing that all lives have equal value and looking at why so many children die. At that time, over 10 million children were dying every year, and they were dying of things like diarrhea, pneumonia, malaria that we should be able to prevent. And so we're experts on infectious disease. A lot of our work is in Africa. More recently with the pandemic, now our work is important globally, not just in developing countries, because our expertise on vaccines and which companies are good at what and how you develop those things. So, this year has actually been a very intense year. As the pandemic hit, our role of being able to work with governments and companies has been more important. So I've really streamlined things so that our foundation can play a big part in making sure over the next couple of years we bring this entire pandemic to an end.
How do you try and ensure that the funds you contribute are actually going to what it was intended for?
Well, I'd say the health sector is easier to avoid corruption than many other sectors. It's a lot easier to avoid high levels of corruption than it is, say, for a construction contract, a road contract, things of that nature. So we're pretty careful with the health money, including partners like Global Fund and Gavi.
And there was a lot of concern initially that Africa would be disproportionately affected by the COVID-19 virus, but we haven't seen scenes such as those we've seen in Italy, such as we've seen in Brazil, or even the US where you are. What do you make of that?
Well, so far it's good news that the amount of COVID sickness in most of Africa has been fairly low. Certainly there's a benefit that you have a younger population, and this is a disease that, in terms of death and serious sickness, is mostly older people. Obviously, in the rural areas, you don't have the same indoor activity. Clearly, when you're indoors, breathing the same air, that's a big factor here. We're a little bit worried that the disease is there in Africa and not being fully measured, so it's probably a bit worse than we know. And we're still worried that it would take off. But so far, so good. It's been mostly South Africa that's had a large number of cases.
In Kenya, we've actually been seeing a decline in the numbers of infections reported, leading some to make the connection or connect the dots to imply that perhaps the COVID-19 pandemic was manufactured, or was the risks it posed were exaggerated.
Well, that requires leadership, because you're right. When you don't have much of the disease, then people are mixing together and not wearing masks. And then all of a sudden it catches you by surprise. We had this in the United States where there were a few states that were very affected, like New York, and the other states thought that somehow it was never going to come. And then sadly, we had a huge second wave in those other states like Florida and Texas. But, Africa so far, it hasn't been the direct deaths of COVID. It's been more the indirect effects that have been negative, like the disruption to the health system.
The report also makes reference to inequality in terms of poverty. It states that 37 million people have been plunged to extreme poverty by the COVID-19 pandemic. In the same breath, one man has broken records as far as personal wealth is concerned. What do you make of that inequality?
Well, sadly, this epidemic is exacerbating inequality. The rich countries have been able to throw more money at the problem. Even within countries, it's people living in slums, people who do physical work as opposed to office work. Clearly, you can have tax policies that tax the rich more and use those resources to help out with broad safety net programs. But every country has to get good at deciding what its tax system looks like and how to make sure that's very well enforced.
The report speaks about African Americans and Latinas in the US, for instance, being disproportionately affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. Again, I suppose also related to economics. It also happens at a time when the issue of Black Lives Matter is quite live in the US. How do you propose we go about bridging that gap?
Yeah, it is tragic that at the same time we saw a brutal murder of George Floyd, you know, we also have the inner city, including Black Americans, suffering disproportionately from this COVID disease. And so I'm hopeful this is galvanizing people to look at, you know, how do we get the police to behave better, find those police that aren't doing the right things, and look at the, you know, health access that we have in the inner city. You know, the U.S. has a lot of work to do. The beauty is our political system has a lot of energy in it now to try and reduce some of these inequalities that have been going down over time, but people are dissatisfied that hasn't happened fast enough.
The report also makes a big point or makes a big case for the equitable distribution of vaccines, such that the vaccines don't only benefit those in higher income countries. Why is that important?
Yeah, our foundation is going to do its best to make sure the distribution is equitable. Part of the way we do that is by getting additional factories that are dedicated to the low and middle income countries. Some of the factories are dedicated to the rich countries, and you know, we're not going to be able to go and change that. And so by adding more factories, using money from the foundation and relationships we have and special aid money that a lot of the European countries have been very generous on, we should be able to supply in parallel. And our report shows that that would have a dramatic benefit in terms of reducing the number of deaths. But this hangs in the balance. Part of the goal of the report is to point out the inequity here and the need for cooperation. You know, it's really a novel situation. I'm hopeful that the countries will all step up to this, and we will get the vaccine out starting next year to the entire world to bring the pandemic to an end in 2022.
So there is hope, and we get into the business news after the break.
When the world changed, it made us go back to the simple joys and love the little things even more, like serving up your best, eating together, and sharing more. Now, we'll take nothing for granted and always remember to taste the simple joys. Coca-Cola, taste the simple joys.
For a better tomorrow, don't forget to do the 1, 2, 3 with Colgate every night.
Get fresh, gotta get fresh.
Down is your boom boom pow, Downy boom boom pow. Smells by now, chafuzi na zibita impu Downy. Protect guo zangu na dukia niko safi. Lazima niwe fresh na Downy's boom boom pow. Boom boom pow, Downy's new boom boom pow. Smells zote na zi boom boom pow. Powerful freshness, Downy's boom boom pow.
So vile nasema, wacha nikubatie statistics. Niko na gamia 1,500. Tunakuwa drapo gamia na kuwa 6,000. 2,000 natengeneza leather, natengeneza viatu, wallet, kibeti, nauza hapa, na batia wewe 50%. Wacha niweke credit nikupigie.
Namna gani wewe? Hii mambo ya kuishiwa na credit kila saa? Come on. Nunua hiyo simu ya Vodafone. Calling fiber to fiber is 0 shillings per minute. And it is not expensive. Only 2,999 Kenya shillings.
Alo hali wa. Hata fadhali hiyo credit ikae ninunue simu basi.
Faibika leo na Vodafone for only 2,999 Kenya shillings. It will always be free to call fiber to fiber.
When you buy a bar of Cadbury Dairy Milk chocolate, you can help change the story. That's because we will use part of the proceeds to donate milk to less fortunate children across our beautiful country. Let us come together and show the generous spirit that is inside of all of us. Cadbury Dairy Milk. There's a glass and a half in everyone.
Melissa? Mom, it's Dad's birthday today. I'm giving him a party just like he gives me.
Nothing makes a mother more proud than seeing her child growing up. But I know that as she learns to care for others, she'll face even more germs and the risk of illnesses.
That's why you need strong Dettol protection. Just 1 cup of Dettol protects your home and family from up to 100 illness-causing germs.
Growing up needs Dettol protection.
The Dettol range is available on Jumia. Shop safely and conveniently today.
Beat sensitivity pain fast with SENSODYNE Rapid Action for clinically proven relief in 60 seconds.
University would like to inform all first years that online registration and orientation for the first year's 2020 and 2021 class is ongoing. Visit www.firstyears.mu.ac.ke to register. Online classes will begin on Monday 21st September 2020. Qualified candidates are also informed that online application for the September 2020 and January 2021 intakes in our various degree, postgraduate and diploma programs is ongoing. Apply now. Visit our website www.mu.ac.ke and click on the admissions link to select your desired course and follow the guidelines to complete application. For more inquiries, contact us on 0790-940508 or admissions@mu.ac.ke. Moi University, the foundation of knowledge.
Mimi ni fundi, naelewa chuma yangu fundi gani. Wini tulijuana 2010. Kila kazi akinipatia anajua anatumianga chuma ya standard na doshi.
Chris ni fundi mzuri. Tunamuulizanga hii chuma una shida ukisema doshi. Ni chuma aina gani? Na ndio hiyo akakuja kunitengenezea mlango naye akaniambia, "Wini kuja uone. Hii ndio chuma ya doshi." Kila mtu anapenda kitu smart. Kitengenezewa mlango na chuma strong, utakuwa ukilala usigisi nono. Security iko sawa na akili itulie.
Jijenge na Doshi Steel. Chuma ya nguvu.
Time to do business. Senators have taken issue with the transfer of the Kenya Meat Commission's oversight from the Ministry of Agriculture to the Ministry of Defense. They are the latest to express their dissatisfaction with the move that has left many surprised. NTV's Judith Chirono looks at some of their grievances.
It is an issue that continues to generate heat among lawmakers and is one that caught Kenyans by surprise. That the Kenya Meat Commission will be under the Ministry of Defense is difficult to justify.
Explain whether public participation was ever conducted before KMC was transferred to the Ministry of Defense.
I know we've been having a lot of challenges as far as management of KMC is concerned. But I think for the pastoralists, especially those who rely on that KMC, Mr. Speaker, it is really important, as Senator Kabaka has requested, public participation should have been done.
Some of the senators have questioned the soundness of the advice that the president is getting from his Attorney General.
KMC was established in the late 1950s under an Act of Parliament. So the best thing that the Attorney General could have advised the president is to go back to Parliament and then discuss on how to set up an Act of Parliament that can be able to now transfer a devolved function. Which Act of Parliament allowed for KDF to be able now to carry out business with civilians? So that we know whether all the other businesses we can now transfer to KDF, we can take all the other companies which are collapsing or which are belly up, take them to KDF and see whether they'll survive.
Not all, however, were opposed to the odd move by the state.
In spite of the method that was used to transfer, I think it was quite in order, Mr. Speaker, to save this country.
For now, Kenyans will have to wait and see whether the decision to take KMC under the wing of the Ministry of Defense is defensible in the long run. Judith Chirono, NTV Business.
Something else to chew on now. Knowledge management is a field that is about 3 decades old, but one which many small and medium enterprises are unaware of. And yet, embracing it could help some of them surf the waves of the pandemic. Alex Mwangi sat down for an exclusive interview with Moses Wadegu, an expert in knowledge management, and here's what he gleaned pertaining how the science can be applied to businesses during the pandemic.
What are some of the changes taking place in the space of knowledge management in light of the COVID-19 pandemic?
We do a lot of web conferencing, okay, and that has, implored or forced, especially SMEs, to be able to adopt technological platforms. Because, as you know, with technology coming into play, there is ease in terms of sharing knowledge, which did not exist, initially.
Owing to the pandemic, there has also been a downside when it comes to the volume of knowledge that is shared for the benefit of businesses.
We can now not socialize, and therefore we can now not be able to access that inbuilt knowledge that can only be shared at the point of interaction in a social environment.
Knowledge management is defined as the process of capturing, distributing, and effectively using knowledge. It's a science whose application is yet to be tapped by businesses. The COVID-19 pandemic has inadvertently helped expand the scope of knowledge sharing.
Today, you can be able to learn any, business idea by interacting with others online. And that is something that people have embraced, even the small businesses.
To make progress in the midst of the COVID-19 storm, business leaders need to step out of their comfort zones and seek or create opportunities to learn through interactions with peer enterprises.
There is need for organizations to come together and develop what works best as we move forward. And this will also not basically just, revolve around manuals, because you see, a lot of what works best is not shared in documents. Okay. A lot people hold behind, people hold because it's something that is inbuilt. Unless you provide them with an environment where they can be able to share what they have, then it won't be documented.
What advice would you give an entrepreneur or the manager of a small or medium enterprise in order for them to survive the pandemic?
It's important, first of all, for entrepreneurs to know that there is not going to be a Messiah to help them recover from their businesses. The other thing is that they need to focus on their cash flows. Okay. For medium enterprises, I think the major thing right now is to learn.
Alex Mwangi, NTV.
No, Masai, but I believe you can pray. Actually, read up on Jeremiah 33:3 when you have time. A pilot of the new hybrid and BT cotton varieties in Busia County has yielded fruitful results, and as such, farmers in the region ought to try out cotton farming. The success of the pilot scheme is also good news for Rivatex, the revived textile manufacturer based in Eldoret, which was keenly awaiting its outcome. Rivatex is now assuring farmers in the region that should they shift to cotton farming, it will ensure that they get a market for their produce. Rivatex is also keen to ensure that the farmers receive assistance in the various stages of production, beginning with the receipt of hybrid seeds.
Pamba hata vijana wetu ambao wanasoma wakitafuta kazi Nairobi warudi kulima shamba.
Kwa hivyo nataka niseme hiyo jinari itachengwa na serikali huko Teso North kupitia njia ya Rivatex.
That's the close of business.
looking for products to protect ourselves from viruses, but not all products protect us. Did you know that using Dettol soap and water protects against viruses? Many viruses are surrounded by an envelope with receptors that enable them to enter a human cell and cause infection. Dettol soap destroys the outer layer of the virus and effectively removes it. Protect your family from the spread of viruses with Dettol. Dettol cleans and is now tested and proven to be effective against COVID-19 virus. This has been Medivax for Dettol.
The Dettol range is available on Jumia. Shop safely and conveniently today.
Ah, Helen Paul.
Hello, madam. Would you like to join us on this mission?
Yes, but how?
Just one question for you. How do you keep your toilet clean?
I use regular detergent and bleach for washing and removing yellow stains. I've been using it for years.
Oh, madam, the regular detergents and bleach are used for washing clothes. To disinfect your toilet properly, you need Harpic 10X. It is specially made for germs and stains removal. Harpic's thick formula settles on stains and gives 10 times better cleaning compared to regular detergents and bleach.
Wow, now I'm convinced, Helen Paul.
Really?
Yeah.
Now that she's part of the mission, the next house is yours.
For more than 10 years now, One Acre Fund has worked with farmers across Kenya to give them access to quality seeds, fertilizer, and farming inputs through affordable financing options. To find out how you too can join the One Acre Fund program, dial *689#. One Acre Fund. Mkulima Kwanza.
Beat sensitivity pain fast with SENSODYNE Rapid Action for clinically proven relief in 60 seconds.
The risk of illness-causing germs is increasing. It is believed that the coronavirus can remain on surfaces in your home for up to 9 days. Touching infected surfaces is one of the ways in which germs spread. Regularly disinfect your floors, countertops, and kitchen surfaces with bleach, and use an effective toilet cleaner inside and outside your toilet bowl. This message is brought to you by Medivax, JIC, and Harpic.
Welcome back. Briefly, before we get into sports, President Uhuru Kenyatta today launched the 1.9 billion shilling school furniture project that will see Juakali artisans supply 650,000 locally assembled desks. The head of state said the project, which was unveiled at a furniture workshop in Umoja Estate in Nairobi, is modeled on the Kazi Mtaani Youth Employment Initiative. The Ministries of Education and Interior are to ensure that the project benefits artisans across the country. Young people have also been called upon to form SACCOs to put in their savings. We hope it does get to the needful use. Into the sports now with Ida Waringa.
Parenting is all about learning when to be tough and when to be gentle. Tough, gentle. But when it comes to fever, you need to be both. Panadol Baby and Infant starts to work on fever in 15 minutes and is gentle on the tummy. Tough call. Panadol Baby and Infant. Tough on fever, gentle on your child.
Breaking news from Molfix. Let's see what they're developing right now.
Panties just for me. It really feels very comfy.
Molfix pants with anatomic fit technology. New Molfix pants, an invention from babies for babies.
You should also try Molfix.
Top dressing tips. Top dressing is the application of fertilizers to boost harvest in growth period. Ensure the soil is moist, and in warm weather, ensure you mulch to avoid evaporation.
More than 500,000 farmers in Kenya can have easy access at affordable packs of 1 kg to 50 kg across major agro-dealers. Farmers who have used Mavuno fertilizers have realized 30% more yield. Please feed your crop and soil with the best fertilizers for future prosperity. Call us today and learn how Mavuno fertilizers is helping in increasing food production in Africa.
Best quality KEBS certified steel. TMT steel bars. Produced from the most modern machines and technology. Reliable and with the highest strength. Suitable for all types of construction. That is, high-rise buildings, bridges, houses, and roads.
Look for the DEVKI mark on a wider setting reinforcement, twisted and TMT rebars, which are KBS certified and have the diamond mark of quality. DEVKI Steel, Kenya's most trusted steel company.
From far with you. I even gifted you a magnificent house. Rosa, it's the thought that counts. Please help me.
When it comes to fever, you need to be both. Panadol Baby and Infant starts to work on fever in 15 minutes and is gentle on the tummy. Panadol Baby and Infant, tough on fever, gentle on your child.
The Agriculture CS, Peter Munya, has defended the move, saying that either way, the military has been the Kenya Meat Commission's biggest customer, confirming the claims by haters that kutoka kitambo, ng'ombe zimekuwa zikiingia jeshi kwa wingi. She tweeted something about a lady carrying a pan kwa handbag to go cook chapos for the boyfriend.
When you show yourself, or you show this dude that you're willing to do anything for him, imagine hakuna heshima hapo. Guys like having to work. The thrill of the chase. Do you have a pan?
I do.
Because that is maybe someone is that.
No, I do.
Unaongea stories za pan alafu wewe huna.
No pun intended.
Welcome to Garden of Joy in Machakos by Optiven. This is a gated community that is strategically located only 7 minutes drive from Komata. The title deeds are ready. Call us today on 0790 300 300.
NTV Sport in association with Showmax.
A very good evening to you. And as elite athletes continue to train ahead of the London Marathon, the pace setters are also preparing for the big assignment. The NTV Sport team caught up with Lydia Njeri, a pacemaker, during one of her training sessions in Eldoret. Apart from sharing her plans, Njeri also explained how COVID-19 affected her season.
At the Kipchoge Keino Stadium in Eldoret, Lydia Njeri Mathathi does her speed work. She's back to full training after disruptions by COVID-19. Njeri says that her season had picked up well in January before the pandemic struck.
Sasa this 2020 ni mimi ndio nilikuwa mshindi wa Beyond Zero.
Njeri paced in London in 2019.
Mwaka jana nilikuwa napesia yule mtu alikuwa anataka kuqualify kwenda Olympics wa Great Britain na akaqualify akakimbia 2:25.
She says that pacing is more technical than actual competition, and one needs to be keen in training so as to execute the assignment as per the race organizers' requirements. Njeri will be pacing the second group in the women's race of this year's London Marathon. The group targets to finish the marathon in 2 hours 23 minutes flat, a task that she is confident of succeeding in.
Huwezi kuwa na tension kwa sababu umefanya hesabu ya splits. Unaona? Na unajua tuseme mimi nimekimbia 67 na ninaenda kucross na mtu mwenye anafaa across 71:30.
Njeri also hopes to grace the London Marathon one day as a competitor, but for now, focus is solely on executing her task well.
Great stuff. And with focus on Saturday's Football Kenya Federation county elections, the FKF Electoral Board has conducted training for election officials. The officials were also taken through the health protocols they need to enforce at the polling stations in light of the COVID-19 pandemic. The board has also employed input from the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, who will offer technical support in the process. Elections are set to be held in 21 counties where there was opposition competition. Now, in case of a tie, repeat elections shall be held on Tuesday, September 22nd. The final county results shall be published on October 1st.
It's going to be a process that is going to stand up to scrutiny at international level. I have been made to understand FIFA is likely to come and observe, and so we are confident that they will go away feeling that, this election was conducted appropriately.
Let's cross borders now, and Lionel Messi scored twice as Barcelona beat second division Girona 3-1 in a pre-season friendly. Messi helped set up Philippe Coutinho back from his loan at Bayern Munich for the first goal after 21 minutes. The Argentine scored his first after 45 minutes spinning.
And that marks the end of NTV Tonight. Thank you for watching. Thank you to Florentino for the sign language interpretation and the team that made this possible. Have yourself a good night. Be safe.
This is NTV.
I help women find independence by training them in fish farming. It's tough on my back, joints, and can cause headaches. Panadol Extra relieves multiple types of pain.
If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
Kuangusha mistari na kudamini ufahari. Trust, study, ripped them a classic. Form ni gane. Trust, study, ripped them a classic. Leo niko ndani. Are you the standard man? Trust. Are you the real man? Trust. Are you the classic man? Trust. Are you every man?
Trust condoms. Who are true. Karatina University wishes to announce to all new and continuing students that lectures of the first semester of the 2020-2021 academic year are ongoing. New students' university joining instructions and details on creation of e-learning account for all students are on the university website. Payment of requisite fees is a requirement. For more information, visit our website on www.karu.ac.ke or contact us on the details on your screen. Karatina University, inspiring innovation and leadership.
The Agriculture CS, Peter Munya, has defended the move, saying that either way, the military has been the Kenya Meat Commission's biggest customer, confirming the claims by haters that kutoka kitambo, ng'ombe zimekuwa zikiingia jeshi kwa wingi. She tweeted something about a lady carrying a pan kwa handbag to go cook chapos for the boyfriend.
When you show yourself, or you show this dude that you're willing to do anything for him, imagine hakuna heshima hapo. Guys like having to work. The thrill of the chase. Do you have a pan?
I do.
Because that is maybe someone is
No, I do.
Unaongea stories za pan alafu wewe huna.
No pun intended.
Welcome to Garden of Joy in Machakos by Optiven. This is a gated community that is strategically located only 7 minutes drive from Komata. The title deeds are ready. Call us today on 0790 300 300.
Sio watu wengi wanajua maneno ya chuma. Lazima utafute ule fudi au wana deal na chuma ya doshi. Nikishika nasikia uzito, unasikia umuongeze mshahara.
Jijenge na Doshi Steel, chuma ya nguvu.
NTV, turning on your world. The following program has been rated PG. It may contain scenes unsuitable for children under the age of 10.